Were you one of these girls who were really training to like grow booty?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I started like an actual fashion line where I could create my own designs like from scratch.
Like I've been like scammed and like
Really?
taken advantage of so many times that like now I have
now you kind of know
a feeling for, like a gut feeling for it.
Well, that's why failures like
long
shape
time.
who you are. I hope we can like talk about this, but I tried shrooms for the first time. Yeah, that was my first like gateway to spirituality actually.
Okay. In fitness, the shortcut is like taking steroids.
Yeah.
Like in spirituality, the shortcut
It's taking
is like
shrooms completely changed who I am in every sense of the world. Like
it's like asking someone how does water taste.
Yeah.
Like you cannot explain.
Exactly. What was good today? What are you grateful for? What do you have that like, you know, other people don't have? And like that really just like gives you a sense of like positivity and like gratefulness.
So guys, welcome to another episode of The Marijn Show. I'm here today with Ali.
Hello.
Ali Besse. Now I say it right.
Yeah, that was right.
She's a content creator. She has her own fashion brand. And she is a sponsored athlete. We're with Alpha Lead. How many years have you been with Alpha Lead?
5 years?
Yeah, so
I think
5 years ago is when we met for the first.
Yeah.
So we met for the first time. You live in Houston now, and yeah, we've been friends for all these years. So
yeah,
it's good to have you on the podcast.
Thank you
I don't
so
think we
much.
ever did like a video or anything, like really.
No, never.
Not
So
really.
thank
no?
you for having
Yeah.
me. I feel honored.
So we're gonna go a bit deeper today. It's gonna be nice.
Yeah.
So let's start off the podcast for those that don't know you, like a little bit about your background,
Yeah.
growing up, and yeah.
So I was born in St. Barts, which is a French island. It's the only French island in the Caribbean, actually. So it's pretty cool. It's pretty
Sick,
cool out
yeah.
there. And then I moved to America when I was 12, 13. And then I learned English.
Wow. Yeah, your English
yeah.
is so good though.
Thank you. Thank you.
She has the cute accent.
I have a little...
If you guys notice, they comment down below.
It
yeah.
comes out sometimes,
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, so then I just lived in Miami. And then I moved to Gainesville to go to UF for college. And I
Okay.
recently moved to Houston last year, actually.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what do you do on a daily basis?
Just work,
Right now.
you know, like entrepreneur life, like 24/7. So I have like my fashion brand and, you know, other like boutiques that I've opened as well.
Amazing.
So just like creating content and just packing orders and launches and designing new items, creations. So it's nonstop, but I love it.
Yeah. So how did all of that get started? Like your first, like let's say, taste of entrepreneurship. Like, did you study anything in school or?
No, so
Never?
I actually went to school for paleoanthropology, which is like science, like human evolution.
Wow.
So nothing related to fitness, like at all.
Mm-hmm.
And I actually got signed with Ghost and Athlete just kind of by chance, honestly. And when I graduated, I was supposed to go to Ethiopia to like dig up some like fossils and all that stuff. And I had to make a choice, like, do I want to continue this for a little bit, like while I'm young, or like go completely off the grid and, you know, do this like science stuff like in a lab and be like, you know, completely off the map. And I decided to just go that route for a little bit. And
Wow.
I eventually want to go back, but right now this is definitely.
Eventually do.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
Yeah?
100%. Oh, yeah.
Wow, that's interesting. Okay,
Yeah.
this is going to be an interesting conversation today. 'Cause
Yeah.
I already heard things that I didn't even know. So.
Really?
Yeah, it's funny
Oh,
because
that's
you know
cool.
we've seen each other many times, but then
You never like dig
It's so-
deep, like deep, you know?
no,
like,
maybe on some topics, but not like That's kind of funny,
Yeah.
actually. Yeah, it's cool. So how did you get into content? Like because you said all of a sudden that
Yeah,
just
it was
happened.
chance. Yeah,
but you must
so-
have made some Instagram content or something.
No, so that's the
Oh,
thing.
it was physical.
Yeah, so I was just going to school for like that science, you know, like biology, all that stuff.
How old are
And-
you here?
Maybe like 18, 19.
Okay.
And one of my close friends, she worked at UF like as like a newspaper. She was like writing articles for it, and she reached out to me because like I love to work out, but I never really posted anything, you know. And she was like, "Hey, like I'm doing an article about like students that are balancing like full days at like being like students full time, but also
Yeah.
wanting to be healthier and working out. So like, do you mind writing a little article?" So I wrote like a little tiny article, but then I like linked to my Instagram. And at the time I had like 3 posts, with like my
Right.
grandpa, like skydiving, like nothing fitness related.
Did your grandpa skydive?
No, he didn't.
Oh,
it was
okay.
just like separate posts, but like nothing fitness,
Yeah.
And it just kind of blew up. Like that post, like another page found it and it blew up. And then the owner of Ghost, which is like another company that I work with.
Dan
he-
or
Dan.
Yeah.
Yeah. He saw that post on like another page, and that's when he reached out and was like, "Hey, like I want to send you some protein. Are you down?" I had no idea about like the fitness industry or what
Sick.
Ghost was. I was like, okay, well, sick, like free protein, like I'll try it. And it just kind of like went from there. They invited me to my first expo, and I just like found out like how the fitness industry actually was, like
Wow,
expos,
cool.
conventions, all that stuff. And then I met Christian, and then he asked me to be on Athlete, and it was kind of like a domino effect, you know. But I never really wanted to even do that in the first place, and then I fell in love with it, you know.
That's so cool, because that's like different than most people's stories.
Yeah.
Because most people really like
They
want
want
this,
it, yeah.
visualize this, like come to Alpha Land now,
Yeah.
you see all these content creators
Yeah,
with the
for
dream
sure.
of doing this.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
you actually wanted to do something else and just rolled into it.
Yeah.
But that's cool too. I think that's kind of maybe the person you are as well. You just kind of go with the flow and follow
Yeah.
your heart, right?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Oh, thank you. That's sweet.
So was this in 2016, 2017?
2019. I was
Oh,
19.
okay.
Yeah. Wait, no, 2019? No, hold on.
How old are you now? Then I'll know.
26. So I was like 19. I was
Yeah,
like
then it was
19.
2016.
Okay, then yeah, you're right. Yeah.
Because that's the time when I 26. Yeah,
That's when
somewhere
you got
around
into
that.
fitness as well? and
Yeah, so I
everything?
guess
Yeah?
it was sort of the same time
Yeah.
into the industry. I was maybe a bit later.
Yeah.
Okay, but cool. Yeah. And so, what kind of content did you post back then?
So I was just kind of
Or is
like, I just had fun with it. Like I didn't have
Hmm.
any guidelines. I didn't want to, like I said, I didn't know where I wanted to go. I still wanted to be a professor, you know what I mean? So I was just kind of posting my workouts and like how to balance like going out. I was going out all the time, but also showing that like I could be like disciplined and like reaching my
Right,
goals, you
yeah.
know? So kind of like funny content. Like I really try to do like cool, just chill, like, you know, funny content and just like workouts, and then just kind of like went from there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And your physique is really amazing as well.
Oh, thank
and it's
you.
been like all these years you've sustained it. And
I've tried.
yeah. I got to be honest, like I haven't seen your full transformation.
Yeah.
Like, where did you start in your
So,
physique journey? Like,
I was just
and why
really,
did you start
really-
training anyway in the first place?
So that was like way before anything with like Ghost and
Yeah.
Athlete. So I never really worked out. I was just like very active. Like I was in the tennis team, like swimming team and everything. But I was getting bullied a lot at that time and just like having a hard time with like my self-confidence. And my dad actually remarried to this woman, and like my at-home situation was just really awful. So I would walk from high school back to my house every day, and I would just pass by this gym, and I just didn't want to go home because I just felt so, it was just like a really dark place in my life. So I figured like, let me just, you know, sign up and do my homework here and, you know, just be on the treadmill and just like get out of the house. And I just started like finding the gym as like an escape, and I just started like becoming in love with it. Like it was just completely just by chance also, but also just like an escape where I felt very comfortable and could work on myself and my self-confidence and all that stuff, you know?
Did that
Yeah.
work out for you? Like, did
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, at first I was just like doing treadmill, like reading like my textbook, and then I was still like in that mindset where I was
Yeah.
like scared to lift weights because I thought it would
Okay.
like make me build,
Okay.
you know, bulky, like what
Mhm.
most girls thought back then. And then I like learned more and more about fitness and lifting weights and building muscle, and I was just like, wow, this is really cool. Like my self-confidence is like actually growing a lot. So I just became like really, really in love with that whole fitness world and just pushing like my boundaries and like challenging myself, you know?
Awesome.
I think it made me stronger, yeah.
Maybe we can give the girls at home some tips. Like,
Yeah.
what do you think? For
Just go for it. I get a lot of DMs like nowadays, you
Yeah.
know, girls being like, I just feel so uncomfortable and out of my shell. And there is like a lot of guys at the gym that
I
you
can
just
imagine
go-
some gyms are like full of
Oh,
guys
yeah,
that are
just
all
creepers.
like
Yeah.
looking creeping, you
Yeah.
know? Yeah, I can imagine.
It's mostly like that for sure. But I did give some tips like on my page as well, but just like
Okay.
dressing in like oversized clothes, being in your corner, doing your thing, learning like proper form, I think is a really important thing.
Yeah.
Because if you just show up and like you don't really feel like you know what you're doing, then you can get like self-conscious like even more, you know? So I was like watching a lot of like YouTube videos on like how to actually properly, you know, lift weights, and then it like gave me some confidence as well.
Awesome.
Yeah.
You feel like you've been in some time, like you said, you were, you know, at the gym as an escape a lot.
Yeah.
Was it like a sort of an obsessive thing at some stage, you think?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay.
The first year when I really got into it, it really did become my life. Like I was into macros. I actually wanted to compete, and I did a prep. And it was like, it became my entire life. Like I would like shut down plans and vacations with my family just because I was like, I can't track food and I can't do this. And it
Okay.
just became like really like toxic in that sense, you know?
All right.
Yeah.
And you did a competition? Out of
I was 2 weeks out, so I did the whole prep. And then 2 weeks out, I just realized like how obsessive I started to become with just like counting calories. And if one day I was like craving something, like I was like starting to crave things that I would never crave before because I just like knew I couldn't have it. It was almost like a mind game, you know?
I know, yeah.
And that got me in like such a dark place that one day I just decided to quit. I was like, this is so not like the reason why I started fitness in the first place. Like I want to become healthier and just like feel better about myself, but like counting calories and actually restricting myself was doing the complete opposite. So I just decided to quit, and I was like, I don't have to actually compete and get to that point physically for me to actually feel like I'm bettering like my whole like lifestyle and health, you know?
That's good. That's good. Yeah. I had the same, like 2 years ago.
Yeah.
I've been tracking my food for, I don't even know how many years,
Really?
you
Do
know,
you still,
like
like,
literally
track now?
every single day.
No way.
Yeah, I quit tracking maybe like over over a year ago or
Do you
something.
feel better?
Like first of all, my body just responded to it well. So like now I can just like intuitively eat, or like my body will send me signals like, hey, you're full. It's time to just stop eating.
Yeah.
But back then I would have no idea, you know, I would always track everything.
Right.
And then once I didn't track, then it was like, you can eat everything now. Like,
Yeah.
And then like my body wouldn't give me signals, you know, so now I can listen to my body.
Yeah.
And that's something that really changed for me. Like back in the day, I did not have that connection,
Right,
you know.
yeah.
And now I feel good about my physique even when I'm not
Yeah,
tracking.
you look great.
And back, thanks. And like back then, would always be like when I wouldn't track, I would feel like shitty.
Like bad, about yourself.
About myself.
It like
And
becomes
I would-
like such a thing that like you have to do, or else like you can't really.
Yeah, and I
You
would
know?
feel bad, like, oh my god, I'm messing up my physique, and like, you know, I'm not gonna get great results, or I'm gonna get fat, or you know, I'm gonna lose muscle, like whatever it was. But then in reality, if you've been doing this for so long, like that doesn't actually happen. And now with living a healthy lifestyle, I may not be as lean, right? Like literally as lean, but like I feel good about it, like being a little less lean. So it's like,
I do think it
you know,
messes with people's heads a lot, and that's why I don't like. I am in the fitness industry, quote unquote, but I feel like I really don't like. I'm not that extreme to that sense, and like I always preach like balance and actually figuring out like what works for you in the way that you don't have to obsess over that, because there's really no need for it. Like if you have a fitness goal, and like I do think that tracking macros for a little bit is really good, because you get to learn, you know, like what food is actually made out of, like carbs, protein, fats, and like it gets you like a better understanding of like what you actually put in your body. But I feel like living that way, all my friends that are like really into that, like they all feel awful because they only care about that at that point, and then it kind of like takes over the whole journey that it's supposed to be. You know.
Yeah, and I think there's a fine line there, and I also think it can be done not obsessively, but it's like usually like now I'll just do it like certain periods of the year. I'll track
like
just
goals.
to be sure. Like
exactly.
I'll set a goal and then I'll make it happen. I'll be happy about it. But if you try to do that all year, at some point, you know, like where do you get happiness from? Because you want to do that thing every single day. And it's not special
That's
anymore.
all I preach. I love that.
Right. Yes. Okay. Awesome. So during this time when you were like prepping for that show, which you didn't do, because you backtracked a little bit, was this before you signed with Ghost, or they approched you?
That was,
or was
after,
it afterwards?
It was a little bit after.
Okay, so did the fitness industry have any effect?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
I actually thought so when I went to my first expo, and I was like, wow, this is like this whole new world. Like, you know, like that's really cool. It did get me really motivated, and then at that time, I kind of thought the only way that I can get ahead in this world is to be competing at a show. I think that was like the main thing back then, you know. Kind of like to prove myself, like I can do this, and that's when I became like really obsessed. But it didn't last long, like I said, and I'm really glad that it didn't, because that's so not like what I'm about, you know. Yeah.
Okay. Were there any other like mental things, like mental struggles, I'd say, that the fitness industry brought to you?
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
What else?
There's a lot. It's just like a love-hate relationship. Like there's just so much, but it's not just the fitness industry. I think it's just social media, like as a whole, you know.
Right. Okay.
I have gotten so much from it, like even meeting you, and you know, like most of my closest friends nowadays were from social media.
Yeah. But
it's just very toxic at the same time. You know, like you like start to compare yourself, and am I doing enough? And you see all these people like posting these things, and it can really like be hard mentally to kind of want to compete in that sense. But I think when you take a step back and like stop comparing yourself and actually focus on your own journey, then that's when you can actually just grow in that sense, you know?
Yeah, I agree 100%. And what are some of the ways that you like do that, like practically?
So I started, I think it was about 2 years ago. So I'm very active on social media, but in the way that I just like kind of post my stuff and put my phone away. And sometimes I kind of feel bad because like I feel like I'm not up to date with my friends, you know? but I'm just so disconnected from that entire world, and I feel like that's actually helped me a lot. Like I post my stuff, put it away, do my own life.
Yeah.
It's made me so much happier, you know?
Yeah, I actually gotta agree with you on that a little bit. Like for me as well, but like I'm on Instagram like a couple times a day, but I used to be like posting like all day, like every single day. Like if I would miss a day, that would be horrible. Like on my stories, for example, and it had to be like everything that I did, I had to like. Also for YouTube, I had to film it.
Yeah.
Every single social interaction, every person. And if I didn't, then I missed out. You know?
Takes away from the genuineness.
Right. Yeah. So yeah. I think there is a balance too, because like right now we're here and like I got my cameraman with me. We can film the stuff, and I can still be present as well. Right. Ali, so I'm wondering, like you started your fitness journey first, then you got into contact with Ghost, Alpha Lead. You got sponsored.
Yeah.
What is the moment when you started like your first business venture?
Yeah, so I started like building like a community on social media, and I was just saying like some really weird stuff that just kind of like stuck around, you know, like with people, like just funny things. And you know, people were just like, why don't you just make like mugs and stuff? Like I would want to rep that. So
what
I started
are some of the funny things?
Just like drinking motherfucking water, and you know, like mama ain't raised a bitch, just like little things that I would say on a daily. So I just like started a company and went through the whole process of like creating like an LLC and all that stuff. And just started like selling like my merch with like my little sayings on it. And from then I was just like, wow, this is actually so cool and inspiring, you know, like I wanted to actually take it like a step further and actually be like serious about a business. So I started like an actual fashion line where I could create my own designs like from scratch and be taken seriously, like as a boutique, you know?
Yeah.
So I still have those two companies going on right now. I still like create some stuff for AB merch like here and there. But my main focus now is Little Sunshine Boutique, which is my fashion line. And
AB merch is more for the community, for the people that follow you.
Yeah, exactly.
And now you're creating an actual like brand
boutique.
separate from you as a person.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So where did you get that idea from?
Well, just like having a background in art and drawing, painting, you know, I've always wanted to kind of like keep that into like, I've just been like really like passionate about that. So I was like, if I can just create like my own sketches and just like all the ideas that I have, and you know, like I am like a girly girl, so I love the like boho stuff, very feminine dresses and jewelry. So I was like, if I can just like draw things from my mind and like create them, like that would just be like so cool. And
that's amazing. I
started like my first launch. I didn't know where it was gonna go, and it just did so well that it just like really motivated me. You know, like getting that support. Like I just had so many like more designs. And I was like, wow, I want to like actually grow this and like see where it goes. You know.
Nice. Where do you get the inspiration from?
Literally in my head. Like I just, you know, like there's just like jewelry pieces and little like fashion senses that I see. I'm just like, wow, I want to like recreate that and make it better in a sense. Yeah.
Was that something you were busy with in like early life already? Like, I don't know, like when you were walking around, like looking at dress stores?
Yeah, well, that's the thing. When I was like selling like my paintings and drawings, you know, back then it was kind of like abstract art, but there was a lot of sketches that I would draw focusing on like details, you know, like the face and everything, but it was always like clothes, like little hats and dresses. And I was like, wow, it'd be so cool to like create my own like fashion line.
What age did you sell those paintings and things?
I was in high school. So I was like 16, 17, you know? Yeah.
Creative mind. All right. So I'm wondering, like, since starting that business, what are some of the biggest lessons you've learned from it?
So yeah, first of all, don't get scared from like not having a background in business, because I had zero background in business. Like I said, like I was studying paleoanthropology, which is just like science, like nothing to do with business. I didn't know even where to start. And it kind of refrained me from starting for like a full year, because I really wanted to do it, but I was like, I'm just gonna suck. Like I don't know where to start. I was so scared. So just like starting, I feel like is the biggest step. A lot of people just get like really shy from that. And then just being okay with failing, first of all, because you are going to make mistakes, especially in business, but like taking those failures as lessons and like becoming better in that sense. And like, that's the only way that I've learned, was just making so many mistakes, you know, and like Googling things and asking questions and spending hours just like trying to learn that, even though I didn't have a background in it. And I feel like even though you didn't go to school for business marketing, like you do have a chance to, you know, like learn along the way and create something awesome.
Definitely. I mean, you did it. You should have asked me for some advice back then.
I know. I wish I did.
Always welcome to, you know. And I mean, everybody in this community.
So. Yeah.
So we really support each other. And you did get some advice from Christian at some point.
That was only like 6 months ago though.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
When I was telling him, you know, that I was the profit that I was making and how it didn't really make sense, but I still like had that goal and like all these ideas, but that I wasn't profiting at all. He was kind of like, dude, you shouldn't be doing that. Like you should be like paying a lot less. Like they're like taking advantage of you. But like I had no idea until he told me that.
Tell us about that story. Like what happened there?
He came over one night with like everybody. We were kind of like just hanging out, and we were talking about like my new launch coming up. And I was telling him like, how do you profit? You know, like because it had been like a year now that I'm creating things, and I feel like I'm being charged so much like per item. Okay. But also I'm struggling with like but also I can't overcharge because I know my followers are college students that like don't have that much money, so I don't want to ever feel like they're paying too much for something, but it would like cost me out of pocket. So he was like, that should never be the case. But he's the one that taught me that.
Losing on every single item.
Yeah.
And then also like shipping on top.
Yeah, shipping and then like the packages that got lost and everything that I had to pay. God. So it was very stressful for sure. Yeah. And that's when he told me, you know, like I showed him like the actual pricing of everything that I was buying, and he was just like, you're getting taken advantage of. But I didn't know that until I talked to him. Yeah. That's another lesson that I learned, like without, you know, having a background in business.
The other lesson is if you want to run a business, you have to make
profit. You have to profit. Yeah, you have to like look at the analytics, okay? The numbers matter for sure.
The numbers matter.
But that's
very like, it's very good-hearted of you. And I'm not sure if I ever heard this before of like any of my friends anyway. So it's something that makes you even more awesome, to be honest.
Oh, thank you.
Then the
reality in my position, but like
reality of life kicks in, you know?
Exactly.
You have a very good heart, good intention.
That's the hard thing to like balance between social media and like business, but also trying to just do things the right way. Yeah. You know, like it gets a little like tough at times, and you have to kind of like compromise and like learn what the balance really is, but it takes some practice, you know?
So how is that going now?
Good. Yeah. I actually like hired somebody to look over all my analytics over the last 2 years. Like we actually did like a spreadsheet from like what I paid out of pocket towards like what people like paid, and after the cost of like shipping, and you know like what I pay like to like ship it out to them back. Yeah. And like that really like showed me like, wow, you really like didn't know what you were doing, you know. But at least now I know you know how it should be. But it was definitely like a learning. Nice. It was a lesson for sure.
Yeah, that's all part of the game. You know? I don't think like you can have all the advice in the world, but you're always gonna fail something.
Yeah, that's
even
good.
if Christian told you beforehand, you may still have been you know, a bit stubborn and be like, I'm gonna do it different, you know, different than the rest. But then you know,
you learn eventually for sure.
Yeah, and you learn from everybody. And I feel like even you know, with business, sometimes hard because not everybody knows things about it, right? So if you ask like your parents for advice or some friends that are not in business, it could be
completely different. Or
then they can give advice that can actually be harmful. So maybe that's why, like for me at least, I found it always really hard to like ask people for advice. Yeah, because I felt like maybe they will give me bad advice, you know, and I will be steering in the wrong direction. It could be good for them,
but for you, like it's just like different context. So you know, it might not work for you.
Did you ever have that too?
Well, that's why. I mean, I'm kind of like shy in that sense, and I'll never. That's why I didn't ask you for advice either. I kind of like to do things by myself and not ask, you know, which is kind of to a fault at some point. But I do feel like some people have told me things in the past that are because they're money driven. Would like I try to partner with somebody, like for example, for like skincare and everything. Yeah. And at first it sounded like a good match, and when we started creating products, I just saw through him where he was just trying to make money and like actually like use less of like the ingredients or like, you know, cut down on the costs. Oh, right. And that's, you know what I mean? Like it could be good for them because they're making money, but like if your vision doesn't align, then like it's just not a good fit. Yeah. But like it like might work for them, but not for you. So it just really depends on like the context for sure.
Yeah, it's hard to find the right people.
Yeah,
that's the most
business
difficult
especially
part about business. Yeah, you do a lot of things by yourself, or like how big is the team?
So I do everything by myself. Okay.
Also content and like everything.
Yep. I do everything by myself. I just hired my assistant, which is one of my best friends, just to kind of like go over emails, just like customer service, because I have other companies to handle, plus my personal, just like everything was getting a little bit too much. So what she does is just kind of handle customer service and like writes a list for me of like what to like exchange and return and all that stuff. But aside from that, I take care of everything from like scratch to finish.
Awesome. Okay.
But the skincare I just started, that I don't have like I'm not a chemist or anything, you know, so I needed to partner up with an actual like professional that has his own lab. So that's where I just got a partner, but he's a freaking hippie, like great person, doesn't care about money either. And so we're a really good fit. It took me a while to find him, but we just started working on some, you know, new stuff, and we just came out with a whole like hair care line, and that's working really well. And like he's my only partner in the whole boutique, but he just loves what he does, wants to create like awesome things, and it's really cool.
That's amazing. Yeah, you got to find the right people that align with your vision.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, you know, things are gonna go bad.
Oh yeah.
Like the partner you had.
Yep.
Sometimes in the beginning, like
it seems,
you know, when it comes to vision, it's not something you can always see through. I feel like I've been like scammed and like taken advantage of so many times that like now I have
now you kind of know
a feeling for, like a gut feeling for it, you know. But
well, that's why failures like shape who you are, because like going through that is what actually, like, you know.
Exactly. And like if you have it, like at some point if your business is doing like if you have a bit of a bigger business and like more money, you can put more effort into like a hiring process. Yeah. But if you're like starting out, like
it's kind of
tough. You're not gonna pay a professional to like pick out your employee or like do, you know, you don't know anything about it, so you just gotta work with what you have. You know? And a lot of people are so afraid of making those mistakes that, and then you never start at all, or it just all becomes too difficult. You know? So you never hire someone because it's, it could go wrong, you know? Yeah. Well, it probably will go wrong, you know, but that's okay.
That's literally the journey.
It's the journey, and you got to look at it in a very long-term perspective. So what is, when it comes to Little Sunshine Boutique, the long-term perspective, or like some goals that you have?
Yeah, so Project Sunshine, which is like what I talked about, you know, earlier, just so I'm a launch-based company where I just like create, you know, like products, and just will launch like every couple of months, just because I'm the one handling like everything by myself. But kind of like taking that concept and actually traveling. I've always loved to travel. I want to just like experience every culture and learn about like every part of the globe, basically. So I want to travel around and pick a country every single launch, and kind of do some research on like what they're struggling with, you know, like as a country, and actually go there with my whole team for a couple of weeks. And based on their like culture, religion, like history, create designs that it like fit that, and then use models as like people that are struggling with that issue, and give them a voice. So because like I have a social media presence, so like why not give them that voice, you know? And then once we launch, actually like donate 50% back to that cause, and actually helping them grow in that sense. So that's my main goal. That's like where I see this brand going, but it does take a lot of just work, and I do need to like build some finances to like, you know, pay a whole team to come with me. Yeah. But that's what I want to do.
That's amazing. I love that. Yeah. I love that. And like one of the questions I had for today was, and I know it's getting answered a little bit, but I'm curious, like what are your thoughts on making money? That's one of the questions.
Yeah, I'm not money driven at all, and I do feel like the reality is like you do need money in order to create anything great, you know, which is like the sad reality. But I really don't think that I'm just not money driven, and I do love that about myself, you know. But yeah, I'm never gonna be like motivated by that. I don't think that's ever gonna change. You know, it's been like years now, and it's never changed in that sense. So I think.
What drives you on a daily basis? Like what makes you wake up in the morning?
Sense of like purpose, you know, like
Little sunshine makes you wake up.
No, but just, you know, like
sense of purpose. Yeah, where does it come from? Like,
I think because of the fitness industry, like when I did start to impact some people that I met in person, and like hearing their journey, and even if I played like a small part in their lives, whether it was like through nutrition or fitness, or like looking at things in a more positive way, like hearing their side of things and how it's like impacted them, like that just literally drives like everything that I do, you know?
Yeah, it's amazing. Yeah. I had like this feeling today all day, and I'm feeling it now. Yeah. So many amazing stories. Like we're currently at Alpha Land, and in Houston, Texas, and we had a meetup here today. And then you hear all the stories of the people you've inspired, you know, that may have been folling me for many years, or watching my videos and whatever you do, you do, because you were here today as well, right? So you hear all these stories.
It's amazing.
It's so good, right? Like,
it makes you literally feel like I'm doing something right.
Yeah, sometimes I don't even believe the stories.
Yeah.
You know?
I cried today, like This girl was telling me she was going through, she had a really bad just health issues and had to be in bed for 6 months and had to go through all these surgeries. And she was like, I found your page and your positivity just helps me go through these days. And I literally started crying because it's wow. You don't even realize the amount of people that you actually touch,
Yeah.
I'm getting a little serious. But it definitely makes you feel wow, I want to, it's motivating, to become better for them,
It really is, yeah. And so you are is this feeling going to come from making the clothes as well? Because you are thinking about getting a little, you're making clothes also to get a little bit out of the fitness industry.
Yeah.
Or is it something you still want to do because of, how it touches you now, literally?
Yeah.
Or how do you see that?
Like a Little Sunshine Boutique, or just just
everything, or do you want to keep doing social media the way you are doing it now, and people telling you, well, for you, it's not just the fitness inspiration.
Yeah.
It's more of the positivity,
lifestyle mindset.
Is that it?
Stuff. Yeah.
Okay. So you want to switch? You're switching more into that.
Yeah. So I think I have been a little bit.
I think so too. Yeah.
Okay. Cool. That's the vibe I'm trying to get for sure.
Yeah.
But I feel Justin, my boyfriend, he's a fitness coach, but he's also very into mental health and coaching in that sense, a lot of his clients. And we figured, maybe we could work together and create a team where I kind of handle the business aspect of things and relationship advice and more mindset, how to start a business and all that stuff. So we're working on a project right now that we might launch soon. Cool. And kind of taking clients on, but not fitness, is a whole holistic approach on your entire life.
Okay.
So that could be pretty cool as well.
Yeah, so I was wondering if you're gonna completely move away from fitness. Yeah.
I don't think I'm ever gonna move away completely from fitness, just because it's such a big part of my life. Just the way that it makes me feel so good about myself. When I can't work out for a few days, it takes a toll on my mental health. I'm I want to feel active. I want to feel the endorphins and feel good.
Yeah.
But I definitely feel my page is moving more and more completely away from that. So I might have a few workouts here and there, but it's definitely going to be more spirituality and growing on a different, deeper level.
Amazing. Yeah. How did you get into that? Because first I imagine you were focusing mostly on the physical.
Yep.
Were you one of these girls who were really training to grow booty?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Okay. Absolutely. It was very superficial, at first.
Well, before we get into this, actually, let's go over your name, because that may explain some things.
Yeah.
Because you used to be called Ellie Fit Freak.
Yep.
You changed it to Ellie Besse, your name. I changed my name, of course, as well, from Student Aesthetics to Marine at some point.
Yeah, I remember that.
I think we talked about it.
Yeah, we did talk about it before I changed my name.
Oh, I did it first.
Yeah, you did it first.
Okay, we had a chat about it, and I told you you got to change it, right? Okay, so...
Wait, that's crazy. You told me that,
Okay, it all worked out.
Yeah, you did.
That's good. So why did you make that shift? Why did you decide?
Well, I already knew back then I didn't want to be just in the fitness industry. That was never my life really. And then the second that I thought about actually starting my own business and everything, I was I want to be taken more seriously. And just Ellie Fit Freak was kind of a joke at first when I didn't think I'd go anywhere. It was just a fitness page, But when I knew I wanted to start my own company and fashion, nothing to do with fitness, I was I just needed to be more professional in that sense.
Yeah, and just really focus on your personal brand.
Right.
Now, it's really in the name.
Exactly.
Because Fit Freak is not your last
nope.
name. Yeah.
And it's not taken seriously. Like I said, Fit Freak, it's just kind of
it was kind of catchy.
Yeah.
Maybe
when I was 19, it was
like
great.
A phase, It's like a phase.
Exactly.
Schooling your team. But at some point it's
it's a little,
the phase is over.
Yeah, I still have my my email account, alliefitfreak.com, and I get messages there, and I'm oh, this is so cringe. They think that this is my just business name. It's just not. Yeah.
That's cool though. So how did you get into first more the physical, the training, growing the booty, to realizing I got to work, because fitness was an escape for you as well, to realizing I want to focus more on the mental aspect of it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it was when I first started, it was helping me a lot mentally.
Yeah.
But it was just going through hard times in my life where I did see that pushing myself and challenging myself in that sense and becoming better just through the physical aspect of it did help me become stronger in any other aspect.
Yeah.
And that just really made me excited to just become stronger in every sense. But it wasn't until...
In what sense did it make you stronger?
Just as a person, just not only being more confident, but just being like, I can push myself and achieve. If I set my mind to this goal, like I can do it. And like that made me stronger. Even like public speaking and like, just like things that I was so afraid of before. It just really made me feel like I can achieve this if I really put my mind to it, which is a really cool shift to see,
Awesome. So fitness was the first stepping stone?
Yeah.
All right. Did you get into meditation at a young age or the last couple of years? Or?
Last couple of years, actually.
Okay. When did it start?
So actually, I hope we can like talk about this, but I tried shrooms for the first time.
We can talk about
We can talk about, okay. Yeah. That was my first like gateway to spirituality, actually.
Okay.
I've always been
intrigued.
You took
the shortcut.
I know, exactly.
Yeah, that's what I always tell people, it's like in fitness, the shortcut is like taking steroids.
Yeah.
Like in spirituality, the shortcut is like doing the ayahuasca trip.
Yeah.
Or like, taking
that's
shrooms.
A little extreme, but
that's a little extreme. Most people will not be ready for that, and then
no, there's no way.
Yeah. No, that's just a joke. It's not necessarily, but people do say like it honestly I know it as well. It does like open you up to a different world, which normally it's very hard to get access to it. You can do it through meditation.
Yeah, it takes a long time.
A long practice.
Yeah, no, shrooms can open your mind to like just like more like sense of like awareness of what's around you.
Tell us about that first experience then. Yeah.
So I've always been intrigued with meditation energies and all that stuff. Like I always thought it was cool, but I never related to that because I never felt it in the past. And then I tried shrooms for the first time, and it's completely changed who I am in every sense of the word. Like I just became so self-aware and was so, it's like it alters your reality, but like in a beautiful sense, Yeah. And I was just so grateful for everything around me and just living people around me. And it just opened my eyes and like opened my perspective on everything in life. And after that one trip, I was just kind of like, I want to dive deeper into like what I can't. It just like opened up a whole world that like I'd never thought existed before. Yeah. And after that, I was like, and then I didn't need shrooms, but I just was like, okay.
It's like asking someone, how does water taste?
Yeah.
Like you cannot explain.
Exactly. But like experiencing that for sure, I was like, I want to dive deeper into like what's the unknown that like we don't see on a daily basis. And I became so much more like self-aware and practicing gratitudes and like really being present, because I always felt like I was go, planning for the future and like never really took a step back and appreciated like what was happening in the moment. And I feel like that really like changed like who I was,
Amazing. Yeah, it was exactly the same for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. No, I had to go through some like mentally really tough times to like actually, get into it, because I tried a little bit of meditation here and there, but it was not until I felt a lot of pain.
Yeah.
Where I was just, where I was really not doing well, that it was like, okay, now I need to actually like, need to do this. And I've been on like a yoga retreat on my own as well.
No way. Did you?
Yeah,
like
those. Sorry.
Did you like it? The yoga retreat?
It was amazing.
That sounds amazing.
Yeah. I was feeling like really like I had a burnout maybe like a month before that.
Oh really?
So I was just like at home, like no energy.
Yeah.
But when I was there, so I was still like not like feeling great, but it was out of that period like I still have amazing memories of it. It really took me out of it in a way.
Wow.
Not completely, but it once again just opened up my mind, and especially if you're alone with your own thoughts for a week, you pretty much don't talk. Like I didn't talk to anyone other than the yoga teacher.
You're just like with yourself, like
with
by
myself.
yourself. Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah, and so that's something you could do too.
Yeah.
At some point, I want to do like a silent retreat as well.
Yeah.
And,
oh, that sounds amazing.
And you can also do those things and also add shrooms or add like a microdose of something. Sure. Like there's a lot of things that you can do.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've actually cool. Like for me the shrooms like they did not give me this experience that you got. Really? So this could be different for everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah, because for like I did it at a too young of an age, like maybe when I was 16 or like 15,
did you take a little too much maybe?
Well, maybe for my like I was super skinny back then. Maybe like 16, 17. One of my friends had a really tough time, and then he got into a bad trip. And when someone else goes into a bad trip, you also go because you get sucked in. For and back then I had no control over my mental state. And so I couldn't really control it. So we just all got like bad trip.
Yeah.
And that was the first 2 times I got a bad trip.
I mean, you can go on, I've had a few bad trips, but like when you come out of it, you realize like, I feel like I needed to see that. It kind of knocks your ego down in a sense that like makes you feel like those are the things that I need to face anyways, but I'm just too scared to face.
That could really be true, yeah. Same with ayahuasca. A lot of people have those like horrible experiences, but then they realize, you know, there is something in my life that I need to change.
Yeah.
But for me, honestly, just wasn't mentally ready for it. Like truly not. Which is why now I haven't done it in a long time too, because I had like this mental bad period. I feel like then it's not a good time to do it then.
No, it's
maybe
not
under guidance and things, but yeah, I don't know. So it's sort of different for everybody, but it can be it can be amazing,
really scary.
Have you done microdosing too?
Yeah, I was microdosing for a very long time actually. Like when I woke up in the morning, just a little bit. It's not enough to make you feel anything, but it does. There's so many scientific like proof that shows, because they can take like MRIs now of your brain and how it actually works, and they can see like the neurons actually reconnecting. And I remember this, you know, scientist explaining like as if it was like a board of like sand, and there's like these neurons always connecting every day, and like it creates like this like crease that's really deep, you know, after a while. And taking like microdosing and everything, it just kind of like takes everything away and then like recreates these connections, which like opens up your mind to so many different possibilities and different like perspectives, which is really cool. But yeah, I did that for a long time.
I experienced the same thing. And when you're microdosing, like things are just slightly different. You know, so it's not like you feel anything or something. You know, when you do like other when you do like ecstasy or whatever, something kicks in, or an actual like trip, you know, you'll feel it, like you'll see visuals, and you won't have any of that.
You won't feel that.
It'll be like a slight change, like this, the sound is
just
a little
the way
bit,
you think, and the way
you look at like a tree outside here, you know, you see it now, like look, and then it'll be like you see the tree like a little bit breathing or something, like a little, like just
beautiful though,
slightly
you know,
different.
like you just feel more connected.
You feel more connected to Earth and to everybody around you as well, to people. And I feel like ideas often get connected, like you said, and you see a certain pattern. Interesting.
Well, I've actually, so I was talking about microdosing on my story, you know, for a little while, and I've had a lot of followers that were depressed and like were on medication for years and were supposed to be prescribed for the rest of their lives, and they started microdosing because of my story, and they got back to me like 2-3 months later, and I had 8 different people telling me like, I started microdosing and I feel like I feel the happiest and most grounded that I've ever felt in my entire life, and I don't need medication anymore. And I got bans from Instagram for saying that.
That's amazing.
I know, but isn't that like crazy? Like you're using something that's all natural to actually change your life and not be, you know, addicted to like medication. So like it was such a beautiful thing, and like it's bans, but it makes you wonder like, why is that?
Yeah, that's
it's a whole different topic, but
that's
like,
a whole different. We'll do a separate podcast on those kind of things.
The microdosing is really cool.
Major issues. Okay, so as far as like spirituality, like were you like raised religiously, or we haven't actually told them where you were raised? I think so. That's
from St. Bart's. Oh, I think we started with that.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So on the
well,
island.
St. Bart's is not really.
It's an island, right?
Yeah, it's an island. Yeah.
And so were you raised religiously or not at all?
So both of my parents were both religious, like they grew up religious, but then they kind of became like atheists, but also like very open-minded, and then, you know, like more like Buddha, just very open-minded, like hippie, you know. And growing up, I love the fact that they did that, but I was growing up, and me and my brother, they said like, we will never dictate like what you want to believe in, but like you have to learn about every single religion before you make up your mind, because like you need to have that sense of like knowledge.
I like that.
I thought that was the coolest thing ever, because I grew up learning about every single religion, having a background in it, and then they told me, like, they gave me the freedom to be like, whatever you like feel more relatable with, like you can pick that. And that's really like helps me a lot, also with like conversations with people, but just seeing things in like a different perspective and like being accepting. And like I think it made me a lot more like open-minded with everything else in life, just having that like that background of just being like accepting of everybody, you know.
That's amazing. Did you have any like when you read the different books, and did you have any preference for
Buddhism was definitely the one. I would think. It's just a lot more like, why? It's more of like a way of life rather than religion, where it's like very like you have to like follow these rules and like do this and that way and like that day, you know what I mean? Like it's more of like, these are the lessons that I've learned, and like apply them to your life, and if they work, then like that's good for you. If not, then don't. You know, I just felt like a lot more like inviting, and I just like love that religion for sure.
All right. So you wouldn't call yourself like an actual Buddhist?
No, no. You're
just like, you know,
I just resonate with that a lot more.
You like the spiritual path, and you just are open to different things, and Okay.
Yeah, like it's not like very strict and like you have to do this, but it's more of like apply it and see if it works for you, you know?
That's awesome. So what is it that works for you?
Like in a religious sense?
Yeah, like
Well, I do think that faith needs to be there. Like, you know, as humans, like we need that like hope and faith. But I just feel like you need to ask more questions. And like people that are very religious to the extent, like most people that I've talked to, like they do just kind of like follow what's been like taught to them as like a young age, you know? So that's always going to kind of like bother me in a sense that like I can't really follow a religion like word for word because I just have so many questions and I'm so curious, you know, like why? But like why this and why that? But I think what works for me is just like accepting people and realizing that like what makes sense to you could make sense to them as well, as just like under a different interpretation. It could be like a metaphor. So just trusting like the universe in a sense. I know it sounds like very like hippie, but like energies and just understanding that like it could just be different metaphors, but you can have the same view with other people and just being like open-minded. I think that's
no, I totally agree.
Yeah.
And I even think like if you read all the books, you know, a lot of the religions in some sort of sense, you know, have the same sort of message, but then they are really against each other, you know, for certain rules that have been there.
Yeah. But when you think about it, it's like the same thing essentially. It's just like,
and at the end of the day, we're all humans, you know, and I feel like I like your idea. And I think that in this way you can also understand all sorts of different perspectives and why people make certain choices and why people are the way they are.
Yep.
Instead of thinking that they're weird or like
or different and wrong.
You're different, you're wrong. Yeah,
it'd be like the world would be
and like
such a loving
it's an easier
place.
way of life, right? It gives you more peace, right? And yeah, I think so too. That's amazing. All right, so I'm wondering now, like, just to go to a little bit of a different perspective. I feel like you are so positive all the time. Does that have to do with this, or does that have to do with, you know, certain practices that you do, or just the way you were born, perhaps? Like, were your parents this positive? Like, what do you think it has to do with spirituality or something else?
Spirituality like definitely helped along the way, but when I get that question all the time, because I feel like I am, you know, very positive in like the way that I show up. In a sense, because that's like what I want to bring to people. But I do get questions all the time, like, how are you so positive? Like, this has to be fake, you know? I get that question all the time. And like, I'm definitely not like this all the time. Like, I do have like days where I feel off. I do. Yeah. But I think it was like five or 6 years ago when I was like struggling with a lot of like mental health issues and, you know, family at home and all that stuff. I just came to a realization that like I didn't want to be a person that just was negative or that looked at things in like a negative light, or like if something were to happen that's like bad or obviously it's like an issue and it sucks, then like why bitch about it and like have a bad day when you can like just literally change your mindset and be like, I can have such a good day just by just changing my mindset. And it's like, I want to become that person. Like, I want to do that. And like, it took a little bit of practice and it still does every day. It takes work, but you can change your mindset and just, when something happens, you know, just kind of take a step back. Like, it's not that serious. Like, what can I do to fix it? Like, how can I make this day better? Instead of just being like, oh my God, like this fucking sucks. Like why me? Obviously me. You know, there's a lot of people that are just like kind of dwell in that like negativity.
Victim mentality.
Yeah.
Always being the victim of circumstances.
Exactly.
That are outside your control.
Yeah. That's such a big thing. And I think that if I can do it, because I wasn't like that. I just learned to be that way because I wanted to be a more positive person and be happier. And it's just practice. It's just like taking a step back, like I said. And I think spirituality like did help me kind of like I said, you know, taking a step back and realizing like, okay, it's not that serious. Like, everything's relative. Like, if this is like really awful today and it sucked, then like, what was good today? What are you grateful for? What do you have that like, you know, other people don't have? And like, that really just like gives you a sense of like positivity and like gratefulness, you know?
Amazing. So do you write a few things down that you're grateful for every day, or do you do a certain practice?
Okay. Yeah. Every day I have my little journal. Okay. I like my little matcha, and then I write like what I'm grateful for and affirmations, positive affirmations.
Okay.
You know,
can you give some examples of that?
Yeah. So I'd be like, I am healthy. My family's healthy. I am loved. I feel empowered. I'm strong. You know, just like, and I post it on my stories sometimes just to kind of like help women kind of.
Amazing.
But that really helps. And there's actually been a lot of studies too that say that like when you write things out and when you speak them out loud, it actually creates this vibration.
I know. Yeah.
It's amazing, and it has changed my life. So I know it's real, for sure. But you do have to like take that extra step and make that effort to actually want to get to that position where you're like a more positive person.
Yeah. Amazing. All right. So yeah, you said that like spirituality or like believing in something higher than yourself sounds really like hippie.
Yeah.
Like me personally, also like I was never like religious growing up or anything. Just like we were never introduced to any books or anything.
Okay.
I just like started reading those myself like a couple years ago. So there was never like in the Netherlands, like most people are not. So it's not a part of our life actually. Yeah. Most people are not raised that way at all. But yeah, so
what do you believe in then?
No, so like for me, it's the same thing. I don't believe in one certain religion or one certain. So I'm very open-minded, but I do believe in the power of the universe, and I've been able to like tap into that a lot, and that's especially what I realized after my burnout, to like actually make me more happy and make me more fulfilled and like follow my passion again and truly follow my energy.
Yeah.
But before that, even visualization was for me, like a real tool to like manifest my dream life, right? And this is something that I didn't even know I was like doing. I didn't do that like necessarily, like because I read something like that, but just because it like naturally sort of came to me.
Oh wow!
Like just picturing certain things in my mind, like feeling how it felt. The people that I would be with, how they would smell, even like how like I would visualize it all the time, and I still do that when I have like say a big performance or. Even like before I record something, I visualize how it's going to go. I want to see the room before I get there.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah. So that's really what I've done, and that was already that power like working for me. At a young age. Now you said you did not like visualize this life that you wanted in terms of fitness and all that. But did you ever use like visualization or?
I did recently. So like it's funny that you say that because I started reading this book that's called the Breaking the Habit. It's Joe Dispenza. He's amazing.
Okay, Joe Dispenza. Let me think.
The Habit. Breaking the Habit.
The big book.
Yeah.
Becoming Supernatural.
No, the other one.
I'm not sure.
It's The Habit something. But he talks about that. About the fact that like when you visualize things, like you speak into existence and like you bring that energy.
Right on.
And he's been like talking about just like helping clients like over and over again, his own kids like manifesting dreams that like did come to life. From doing that, and like I 100% believe in that, and I think that's so cool to just it's like bringing like spirituality but also like quantum physics and actually like like
so it's a combination of both. Indeed. It's a combination of both.
It's so cool.
It's so amazing that like way more studies are being done on this now, and we're gonna find out way more, but some things, and this is what I like honestly realized, that some things like you can study, but like
you can't explain.
You cannot find the answers.
Yeah, exactly. It just is.
We're not that smart, We're not that.
Not yet.
It's amazing to hear all these things about you now. I'm wondering about something.
Yep.
If you could be remembered for one thing, what would it be?
Oh man. I think positivity, for sure. Like nothing else, but just being like able to radiate that positivity to people like around me, like closest to me, or even like followers I don't even know, but like getting that impact on them. I think that's the one thing I want to be remembered for.
Amazing. You're doing it now.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, the energy is here.
Oh, 100%. Thanks. That's sweet.
So we're gonna finish the show off with a final five. So I'm gonna ask you 5 questions.
Okay.
First one: never being able to eat croissants again, or never eating chocolate again.
Oh man, that's tough. Damn.
Well, you love croissants, right?
I do love croissant.
Oh, you can say that.
Yeah, croissant.
Croissant.
I have to eat croissant.
Croissant.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be croissant.
Yeah?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You would never eat it again?
No,
you would never eat chocolate again.
Pick croissant. Okay. Yeah, for sure.
All right, we got it.
Come on, my French fruits, man.
Hell yeah. Next one: having all the fitness and nutrition knowledge in the world, or adding 5 pounds of muscle in your booty.
Oh God, the knowledge for sure. What? You can always build a booty. You know what I mean?
Good one. Good one. Receiving $10,000 a month for 10 years straight, or receiving 1.2 million, like right now, once.
Ooh, good one.
Yeah, it's
I
difficult,
think
man.
1.2 right now because I can invest and like plan ahead for sure. I mean, they're both great. I'll take both.
You're good with money, so
Yeah, I mean, I
Why
try
not?
to like learn. I've been trying like to like invest in stuff, but I think 1.2 that sounds pretty
1.2.
good.
Right?
Yeah,
It
that's
sounds,
pretty good.
sounds pretty good. Yeah, yeah. Give up social media or eat the same dinner for the rest of your life.
Oh God. Give up eating the same dinner for sure. Did I understand the question right? Yeah, that doesn't even compare.
Yeah, okay.
Oh
Would you-
wait, no, or I have to eat the same dinner every night.
Yeah.
Oh,
Like,
okay.
that's
Give
why
up
you
social media. What the?
Would you give up social media?
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, like I'm not sure if I would. Like, I
Really?
would probably eat the same dinner.
The
yeah.
same dinner? What about like steakhouse?
Well, there are like
and-
4 other meals during the day.
Okay, true. All right, never mind. Can
Oh,
I
yeah,
like
you can
back
never
out?
eat.
Can I
you
back
can
it
ne-
up?
You never really eat out though. dude. Yeah, because like you wouldn't. You
Damn.
could only eat out during the day. Though.
I know.
Yeah, that's
Okay,
sort of,
social media because I can always eat out like the other meals. You know.
Yeah.
Okay. All
It's a
right.
difficult
I didn't get that
eh?
one right.
Yeah. Now, would you rather be one of the world's leading experts in a single field, or be the most like well-rounded and versatile person in the world?
Well-rounded, 100%.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Awesome. No, it was so great having you on today. We had a
Oh,
really
thank
cool
you.
chat, about all these different
Yeah,
topics.
Yeah, that was awesome.
And we got to know each other even better.
Yeah.
Yeah, so cheers to
Thank
that.
you so much for having me. I feel honored.
And all the links will obviously be in the description,
Yeah.
so they can follow you. And big
Awesome.
inspiration for all the women out there as well.
Thank you.
Honestly, man, you're killing it. Yeah.
Thank you so much. I feel honored to be here. Hope you guys like this little podcast.
Hell yeah.
That was
And
cool.
see you in the next one.
Bye.
Sick.
Yeah, that was so cool.
Awesome. Well
I
done.
know.
Looking back again, I can get it, I can make it, yeah, I know it, and I'm never looking back.